Wow. Who make for you?
Want to eat it.
That is why you have to do a homemade pizza yourself.
The last step is the best
Must
part.
finish, must finish the video, then you know what is happening. Even my girl injured her leg on wheelchair also want to take this shoot because they want to teach you people for Christmas one more dish.
Mommy, today eat what?
Dang dang! Christmas is coming. I'm here. Today I'm making wholemeal seafood pizza for Christmas party.
Why Christmas only?
Chinese New Year is okay. It's very good for gathering and event party where everybody can share your pizza. Very nice, unusual pizza.
So why you like to make this for party?
Because once you make 2 pieces, can eat a lot of people. Certain things can make in advance. So you are not so busy on the actual day. Like the dough, you can prepare and put in the freezer. 1 week in advance is fine. Put in the freezer, and on the day itself, you just spread all the ingredients on the dough itself and bake. Don't you think it's very easy? The ingredient also can prepare 1 night in advance. So on the actual day, you can do something else rather than busy with one pizza for the whole day.
And this pizza is very special taste. Pizza Hut cannot get. So wholemeal seafood teriyaki pizza.
Today I'm going to make the dough and show you from scratch the whole pizza. Now I'm preparing the dough before you go to the first step. Okay. First, plain flour, 220 grams. Don't worry about the recipe. See below for the recipe. See the whole video and then you see recipe. It's much easier for you. This is plain flour.
This recipe can make how many pizza?
It's about 2 10 inches or 11, all depend on the thickness of the dough you want. Wholemeal flour. Wholemeal flour you can buy for Red Man. Not every supermarket have. Red Man or another brand is start with P, one very famous flour brand also have. But still not all supermarket carry this wholemeal flour.
So what is that brand? I don't know.
P Prima.
Oh, which one more expensive?
Almost there lah, almost same. Don't pour at one go. Alternatively is to pour separately in the bowl of plastic.
Okay, then this is what?
This is salt.
You use pink salt, but actually any
Pink
salt also can.
Any
Right?
salt also can. Instant yeast, 2 teaspoons. If you don't use the yeast so often, don't buy so big packet. Better to keep yeast in the freezer. It will keep the yeast alive.
Keep it alive.
Yeah.
Yeast is an alive
This
thing.
is a live thing. Sugar, 2 teaspoons.
Oh, not a lot of sugar, very little.
No,
only.
very little sugar only. This for 2 dough.
Wholemeal and low sugar.
We are ready to mix the dough now. Use the hook for dough.
Okay, what about if people don't have mixer at home?
Must use hand, like this washing clothes method until it's smooth.
Wow.
But I usually don't do that, very tedious. Now use a low speed to mix the ingredient together. If you find your dough is too little, your mixing bowl is too big, just stir like that. Stir, then mix a little while. Okay, very low speed. That water, I will tell you the weight, is in the recipe. I will always like to add some lemon juice into the water. The reason, not for sour taste, the reason is so that when you prepare the dough, it won't easily string back, very difficult to manage.
Oh, so the dough is like not too springy.
Too springy until when you want to stretch, it keep on stringing back. Gradually you pour and mix to a dough. Slowly you increase the speed. Go at a low speed first and then slowly increase. Water is plus and minus. Slightly more or lesser is okay because certain flour is sometimes drier than the others. Mix until the flour detached from the bowl. Look at it. Just now my water is slightly not enough. Look. See, there are still flour at the side, right? It seems that the dough is a bit dry. So add a little bit more. Little at a time, not at one go. See, looks like it's okay now. Flour is detached from the bowl. Put high speed. This is only speed 3 to 4 only. See, I add a little bit of water. It's already formed to a dough. No flour seen in the mixing bowl. It detaches from the bowl, you see? It's a soft dough, it don't stick to your hand. See? Now I'm going to add butter to the dough.
So the recipe is using butter for the
dough. You put butter to the dough, it tastes better. And you don't taste so much of the yeast taste in the dough. Certain dough, you will feel that how come sometimes the yeast very strong taste. By putting butter, I realize it's much better. Okay, putting butter after I continue to, again at a low speed to mix the dough with the butter evenly before you go on high speed. Then from here, you mix about 10 minutes. See, after putting butter about 8 to 10 minutes, the whole dough is very smooth now. See, my hand got no oil, nothing, bare hands. See, it's not sticky to my hand. Okay, see, it not even stick to the hook. It come up very easily, see? See or not? Toy, toy, toy.
It's very springy, is it?
Yes, see? This is stretch. They say what window pane. See?
Who said?
Yeah, that means it's
I can
correct.
see your face, huh?
Yes. Look, dang, very nice dough.
So pizza dough tastes like bread, but it's not exactly
Now, I
the
don't
same.
want it to rise so much also. So after this, what you do, you can keep in the mixing bowl inside. You must rest the dough for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Not like bread, you want to rise it very high, no need. You don't want your pizza dough to be very thick, not so nice. Put in the mixing bowl, just cover with cling wrap or any wet towel cloth. It's fine. I just rest for a while. Or any cover also you have at home, just cover it. This is my baking plastic sheet. Cling wrap also can rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay?
10 minutes. Oh, alarm ring already, Mom.
Coming!
Okay, going to open the dough.
See? Alarm ring already, right?
Like open present like that.
See? The dough about double the size. So when you make the dough that time, don't be afraid that how come so small can make two. See, I prepared two pizza tray. This is
Okay.
about 11 inch. You can use also about square tray also can. Either 11 or 12. The difference is only the thickness. Okay? Okay, let me pour some oil first. You must oil the tray first. If not, your pizza will stick to your tray later. Use your hand. Of course, your hand must be clean now, wash.
Of course, before cooking, always wash
Okay,
your
always
hand.
wash your hand for food.
Of course lah.
Okay? Some people may like to use brush. You know why I don't use brush now? I need my hand to hold my dough.
So the oil already got your...
See, my hand is already oily. You don't need to go and pour oil on your hand wasted. Just grease your tin and then use your hand to take out your dough. See? Punch the air out. Angry, right? Punch the air out. A lot of air inside.
Oh, so it's not
See,
a joke
just-
lah. Must do.
It's not a joke. Then fold it in. You see? It's very smooth dough.
Very stretchy, is it?
Very stretchy, see? Very smooth dough. See my hand? Very clean. So you don't think it's not enough, as what I told you. It's more than enough. I weigh the dough now. I'm going to cut half. One about 252.
Why you keep throwing it around?
Very fun, ma. Okay, usually I don't roll it and put it inside. Straight away I put into the tray. See, because just now I put lemon, the thing won't stretch back.
Okay, you must teach us your hand technique.
You see? Keep on pressing to the side. Today I'm making this a bit thin. If you want a thicker dough, if you like a thicker dough, make 1 1/4 of the recipe for 2 or 1 1/2.
Will it affect the baking time, thick or thin?
Yes, thin of course shorter time. Few minutes deep lah. I
You
keep pushing.
push, got a bit of hole here and there.
You
How?
can patch back ma. It's okay one. Keep pushing at the side. You see I put lemon the thing won't keep on swinging back very fast.
So you used to do before without lemon?
Yes.
Then got that problem.
Sometimes I forget to put lemon. Sometimes I do forget also. We are human being ma. Then you very difficult to manage the dough.
So
See,
the
it keep on swinging back. Very angry.
who very angry?
You will yourself very angry. Very angry 嘛，做了一直跑回来，alamak. See, you put lemon, it won't shrink back so fast. Then my crust a bit thin. If you like thin, this is good.
Suddenly rolling pin come in.
I think no need. No need today, no need.
When do you need rolling pin?
Some prefer to roll it flat and then put into the tray.
This is faster, right?
This is faster and more even, I think. Today my crust is thin. Don't forget, it's still rising,
Here a bit thick, you can push in some more.
Yes. You know the reason I don't let it rise so much? I don't want my crust to be very thick. It's unlike eating bread, you know. There you are.
A bit of hole like that.
It's okay. Just push. Or certain part is thick, you see? Just patch it. You just pinch and patch it up.
You know, like play dough.
Like play dough like that. See? Difficult or not? Not even 5 minutes. And then you see what I do? I have to put the dough because no ingredient. Bake that time it will puff up. Okay?
Also, you need to bake this first before the ingredients.
Usually, I will bake for about 5 to 10 minutes. All depend on the thickness of your dough.
Why we don't bake together with the ingredients?
I prefer this way. At least you can prepare your dough in advance. Can't keep the raw dough in the fridge for a long time.
So usually we make this earlier. Actually, you can freeze it.
Freeze it and use when you need it.
Use anytime.
Use anytime. Defrost it and then just top up the ingredient. Your guests can eat anytime.
How long can we keep in freezer?
Freezer, I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks also no problem. You must wrap it very nicely, clean and nice. Start to puff out. Reason I don't want to rest too long.
Thin crust.
I want thin crust. Even the side I don't like very thick also. We want more ingredient, not thick crust. Okay, these are all carbo. Okay?
Now can bake already.
Yes. Let's go because I don't want to let it rise until very thick. When I bring to the kitchen, the dough didn't shrink back. How wonderful is the lemon, you see?
Still perfectly
Stay in the tray. I'm going to put in the oven 165 to 70, 8 to 10 minutes. Don't overcook as long as it's cooked. Because when you put ingredients, it's still got to bake. Let's go in. Okay, so you make pizza for your Christmas and tell me how it tastes. Now we're going to prepare ingredients while waiting. Dang dang! Ready after about 7-8 minutes. Look at the crust. Like brick brown will do because when you put ingredients, it's still got to bake. Don't over bake until too hot.
So actually this pizza can be done within 1 hour.
Prepare in advance. Children party, got friends coming, you prepare in advance. 1 day before, prepare ingredient. On the actual day, spread and bake. Very easy, right?
I eat even easier.
Okay, it's better to take out from tray to cool down. If not, got water vapor below, then your dough will be wet. Leave on the rack to cool down. Do immediately or wrap very nicely, tightly, keep in the freezer. Cling wrap will be good. You can wrap it more tightly. Finish! Now we are going to cut all the pizza ingredients.
Okay, how come you sit down already?
Cutting table too low. If not, your back very pain, you know. Support us, my girl on wheelchair also want to teach you all this. Want to shoot also.
Wait, I only temporary on wheelchair. Later people think I'm permanently on wheelchair.
Okay, balik. Even my girl injured her leg on wheelchair also want to take this shoot because they want to teach you people for Christmas one more dish. Support us all. Subscribe all.
And
Follow us all. Like and share all. Canned pineapple. If you buy fresh one, sometimes it's very sour. I don't think you like the taste. Of course, you don't need all the syrup. Don't need discard it. Together, 3 or 4. No need to one by one waste time. Another quarter, 1/8 size of the ring, okay? If you are making one pizza, this is more than enough. Next is the butter mushroom. From can also, usually big or medium. Usually all depend on the brand. Some already sliced one is too thin a slice. Not very suitable for pizza. Okay,
So buy the
I
whole
would recommend the whole one and cut yourself. Okay, this is very fast also. One mushroom about 6 pieces will do. You know why? For pizza, don't cut too thin. After baking, your ingredient all dry up. Not nice.
what brand you buy actually?
Sheng Siong, a Happy Family brand. Quite big, their butter mushroom, see? Their house brand not bad. Cheaper also. Then I cut the capsicum.
Chicken must be all 3 colors, meh?
For nicer color Christmas tea color also. If you don't like green, then just buy red or yellow will do.
But if some people don't like this at all, then can don't put
And don't put up to you, okay? See how I cut capsicum I show you. I'm not going to cut ring, okay? See, I use half.
Why don't need cut ring?
Ring, I always observe people eating pizza. The stretching of the pizza. It's very difficult to eat the capsicum. I would prefer to cut cubes instead.
Oh.
See how I do it? Again, not too thin also. Because of the baking, same thing to any other ingredient.
So strips first.
Strip first.
easier to pull the cheese, huh? Is that
Yes,
what you mean?
easier to eat lah. I would think like not that you are pulling the capsicum at the same time pulling the. You cut into half strip and then like that. Don't one by one again. Same thing, same time. Easier to eat. So much easier and nicer also. Not a tiny cubes Don't cut until very small until all the veggie become all dried up and hard. Mix together.
Why you want to mix together?
To sprinkle together. You see how nice is the color? Then have to one by one. If you make a lot, then if you want to one by one, then it's okay. Dang, big ball. This is the yellow one.
You really look like the Christmas decor.
Okay, yellow onion which is not so spicy lah. Why I cut onion last? I don't want my knife have this onion smell for all the food. Onion smell is strong, so I cut last.
But later also going to put all together.
It's different rather than your knife have all the taste on the food.
Later everything tastes like onion.
Don't cut too thin and not too thick also. Onion is drink, then it's nice. See? Okay. We are not going to throw the ring like that. Loosen into all the thin ring. Make the ring into individual ring like that. This onion is a bit big, so I don't use all.
Actually, pizza ingredient up to individual, right?
Yes. No fixed weight lah, you know. What ingredient you like, you put more. That is why you have to do a homemade pizza yourself. Outside, you can't demand for how much you want. Whatever you don't like, put lesser. Whatever you don't like, also don't put, also can. To your own liking, and more or less is also up to you.
Okay, where's the seafood?
Okay, here is the prawn. Here is the squid.
How you prepare the seafood?
If you are use fresh one, we shell, steam it, and then deshell. Don't deshell, then steam. It will shrink until very small. If you are using frozen one, just wash it. Either lightly steam until it turn color, or just microwave for 1-2 minutes. Okay, not fully cooked. I don't want it to 100% cook. You see, it's about 70% cooked. Once it turn color, means cook.
So no need to cut lah. Use the whole. Oh.
The
prawn tried to escape.
This is called squid or sotong. Steam it very lightly. Don't steam until it becomes small. You can microwave. Buy fresh or frozen, it's up to you. Cut into ring like that. This size, not too thin. After baking, burn, it become very tough.
If you buy frozen one, they already cut, is it?
Yes, frozen one already cut. So can buy fresh from market, up to you. Today auntie using frozen because I'm very busy for Christmas cookie, okay? No time to go marketing, also no time to prepare a lot of fresh things.
But it doesn't affect the taste a
Doesn't
lot.
affect, it's up to individual again. And this is, I put some crab meat. More crab meat, if you want to buy real crab meat and do it yourself also can. Sometimes I do put lala, but I personally don't like lala. They have frozen one already, take out the shell, only the meat. Next thing is prego. I buy the traditional.
Prego is the brand.
It's just tomato pasta sauce. You know why I buy in can form? I don't know you people have the same experience as me. Sometimes I used to buy a big glass bottle prego also. But usually you use half or 1/3 and keep in the fridge and become spoil easily and throw away the other half. Isn't that a waste of money? So lately I found out there's a small one can one. You don't have to pay extra for the bottle and you don't have to keep so much. One can for about 2.
So just
two
nice.
pizza, just nice.
Actually, this is cheaper.
It's cheaper. I compare already. Okay, first thing we do is time to
pizza.
lay the pizza. Pai mei mei. Look, the pizza very beautiful, decorate.
This is where children can help also lah.
Actually, pizza is very good, but you can get the children to take part in what you are doing, and they are learning also.
How much sauce are you putting?
300 gram pasta sauce, tomato pasta sauce. I use about half for one pizza. Not too thick and not too, because too thick also will become very soggy.
It's just mainly for your ingredient to have something to
To stay on with some taste. Okay, usually I buy 1 kg mozzarella cheese. It's cheaper also. 2 pizza is about 800 to 1 kg of mozzarella cheese. If you like more, you put more. 1 kg for 2 pizza is more than enough. Even for a bigger size than this is enough. This smaller version, 450 I use. You have a guideline, don't overbuy your
I think
cheese.
at least 400 gram lah you will need. And you will need to put the cheese twice, right?
Yes.
Not all one shot.
So after the tomato sauce, we are going to sprinkle some mozzarella cheese below, so your ingredient will stick to it. If you don't like chewy, stretchable cheese, lately they have some mozzarella cheese mixed with cheddar cheese. If you don't like stretchable cheese, then buy those kind and slightly cheaper also. So you need to have enough cheese below, so it will stick to your ingredient.
But it's not a lot, I see, like just nice to cover.
Just nice to cover. The top part a lot there is nice.
Okay, after cheese, what's next?
I will put the ring first because so I can put my ingredient inside.
Inside the rings.
Inside the ring for
Oh.
nice. See how I do it?
Or must have pattern, wait.
It's up to you to anyhow sprinkle also can, but food you must impress people first before they eat. Feel
But
that,
if people who don't put onion, just skip this part lah.
But with all this will be more fragrant. Or you put lesser lor. With children one, I don't think you want to put onion also. That's true. After this, I'm going to put pineapple. I want to make sure every piece you cut, you have the ingredient. Not like certain corner you cut, somebody don't have the ingredient. This one, the ring is too big, I will put two pineapple.
Why you put until got pattern one?
See, got pattern. Every gap, make sure got ingredient. Every part you cut, got ingredient ma. You don't miss out.
See, because our ingredient is a lot lah.
You see a lot lah. Sometimes you cut outside pizza, some no ingredient, just the crust. Sure, I have every piece I got prawn.
You put one in every ring is quite balanced out already.
Quite balanced up lah. Own eating, you must enjoy ma. Got ingredient, you see.
Wow.
That is the difference of having your homemade pizza.
Every corner
Every corner have ingredient. You observe the seafood I put below, so I don't want to overbake the seafood. It become very tough.
So the vegetable later goes on top.
Vegetable on top, and you can see the color nice.
Pineapple also we don't want it to get too burnt so it's at the
burn,
bottom.
yeah, not too burn also.
That is more juicy. Okay, the crab stick need to tear.
Also don't very thin become chao ta again. Some you don't like crab meat, don't put. You buy the real crab meat also can. Now butter mushroom, see?
Chai. Peppers.
Yes.
Wow, very thick already the ingredients.
More than enough. This is my specialty. Kikoman, teriyaki, thick sauce. Don't buy wrong. And something else later I tell you.
So how you do the drizzling?
I use a piping bag. If you don't have piping bag, you don't want to buy, just buy those plastic bottle with a sharp tip on top.
Can squeeze one.
Can squeeze. You pour it in and then you squeeze it and do it. Do your own normal plastic also can. Just go to the corner and cut a very small hole and drizzle it. Okay? Because auntie has so many
piping bag
bag,
is just a triangular plastic
auntie
bag.
got so many bags.
How much you pour?
Because I got to put some more after baking. 70 about 70. Don't cut too big. Too much of this sauce will too salty, okay? Hold it like that, okay?
So horizontal.
Just turn 45 degrees, okay? Just do like that. Don't put a lot a lot too salty Seafood we got no season but got the original taste.
So don't put too much.
Don't put too much. Later we got to put some on top. Mozzarella cheese on top.
This is the last step before
Last
baking.
step before baking
How much to sprinkle?
There, the balance of what I have left, total 450 plus bottom the layer also. See, 450 just nice. 500 I think it's a bit too much.
Some people like super cheesy.
If you like super cheesy, 500 for one pizza is more than enough.
Wait, I know why. I feel right for this pizza because later got some special sauce. So you don't need it to be overly cheesy.
Got some more ingredient. This is not the last.
This the last part is the best part.
Must finish the video, then you know what is happening. Don't watch halfway and say, I also know how to make.
That's what make it taste like taco pachi.
Ready to put in the oven. 190 degrees, very high.
Oh, quite high.
Yes, because you want to melt the cheese. For those who not used to it, put mitten. Hot, my auntie got thick skin already. Dang dang, coming.
Wow. Fresh out of the oven.
Wow.
Wow.
See
Careful, slowly. Wow. You see the cheese.
I bake for about 20 minutes, about 190 to 200. Coming. Very hot. One more step. Don't think it's finished. Can eat. Heaven.
Wow, hot. Okay, now what?
Homemade mayonnaise I make myself. Same to mayonnaise, you buy a big bottle and cannot finish, spoil easily. Make yourself, next time I teach you. But same thing, I use piping bag, so I got to cut a tiny hole there. When it's very hot, see what I do?
Why must do when it's hot?
So I want to put something, you see.
There's a reason, so cannot wait until cold, is it?
Wait until cold, I may not stick. I don't put so much, later I want to put on top again.
Oh, so one round.
See
first.
what I put?
This is the special
This
ingredient.
is a special ingredient. This is Chai Yu
Bonito flakes.
Bonito flake. I bought about 40 to 45 grams.
Okay, this is the same thing that they put on the taco pachi. If you like the taste of taco pachi, this is what it will taste like. Can you all see the movement? And then now what?
You see, just now I zigzag this way, right? So now I want the mayonnaise to be more even. What I do? This way.
This one, is it if you like, can put more?
Can put more. I have more, I will squeeze all again.
Spread it out first. So it gives a very Japanese kind of taste now.
Final step, teriyaki sauce again. That's why I tell you the base don't put so much. It will be salty.
So in a different direction of the mayonnaise.
Yes.
Wow. Finish up lah, whatever you
I finish
pour.
up lah, whatever is in my bag, you know. Because below already have. Don't put too much, too salty, Dang dang! This is the Japanese style wholemeal seafood pizza. Hope you go and try and enjoy it.